Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about a new edition from Thomas Nelson, the NET Single Column Reference Bible. Stay tuned. Thank you guys for joining me today. Here is the Bible. This is the British Tan Leathersoft NET Single Column Reference Bible, and we're going to take a look at it really quickly. First, let's look at the box, and it's a nice clamshell box, really well protected, has a really nice look to it. Now the back shows us that it's an 8-point font. There are the extensive cross references, and if the big NET Full Notes edition was a little too much for you, this has a condensed set of translator notes, a little bit smaller than the 60,000, but those are going to be available on netbible.org. You also have a concordance, full color maps, and it's a Smith-sewn binding. This Bible also retails for $40. I'll have a link in the description of the video where you can go purchase it. Now let's take a look at the Bible. Now first off, this British Tan Leathersoft is just really smooth. It doesn't have quite as luxurious of a feel as some of the other Thomas Nelson NET Bibles. It's a clean spine with only Holy Bible, NET, and Thomas Nelson painted on the spine. I say painted because it's not imprinted. I do like on the NET editions where they have Holy Bible horizontally on the spine, because as all good Bible owners know, Bibles are laid like this, not like this. We open it up, it's a paste down liner, and you have a presentation page with a title page and then your publication information. All right, so this publication page shows us it's a NET Bible Single Column Reference Edition, printed in China in 2020. Also, the Thomas Nelson NET typeface was created by 2K Denmark. This text is really cool. It is a single column paragraph format. I do really enjoy the NET Comfort Print font. It is really nice to read. And all of the references pile up at the bottom of each page. So you don't have really the references lining up with each verse. They just stack up on the edge of the page, which this opens up opportunities for note taking, even in a Bible this compact and small. Now in the Crossway Omega, Crossway has all of their references piled up in the bottom right hand corner, but it stays within the same column. Now this being in a single column and all the references stack at the bottom, it really does open up a lot of marginal room. Now this is a single color printing, where we have seen dual color printings a lot of the time from Thomas Nelson, but there's a lot of space. It's not really cramped, even though it's an 8-point font. Now we get to the ribbons, and it's the first kind of disappointment I've had in a while from Thomas Nelson. In the first generation of the Premier Collection editions, they had these same single-sided satin ribbons, and then they went to double-sided satin ribbons and improved a lot of the enjoyability out of these ribbons. And a lot of their non-premium Bibles, with the New King James and even the newer NET productions, had double-sided satin ribbons, but this Bible for some reason has single-sided satin ribbons. I'm not sure what the reason was for that decision, but it's definitely a letdown. This edition does have some brown head and tail bands, and it is 2 single-sided satin ribbons, a brown and this baby blue, but they're pretty short. They're not very long, so not sure why they're so short either. When I say they're short, you can see they're barely hanging out of the bottom here. When I say they're short, that doesn't mean they're too short. I'm just saying that they're shorter than normal. Normally on Bibles like this with nice big ribbons, they're going to be about 4 inches past the bottom of the text block. These are about 2.5 inches, maybe 3, so they're a little shorter than normal. It doesn't make it bad. In fact, a lot of people probably prefer the ribbons about this short, but it's just, I really prefer them to be long, so it was a little bit of a letdown for me. Now this is a black letter text, and even though this is a single color printing, you do have the section headings in bold, and you do have your chapter numbers in bold. And one thing that's a little bit upsetting to see is that it doesn't look to be line matched, and that's kind of disappointing. The lines just trample over each other. There's some points where it looks like it's line matched and then others where it doesn't. But it does make a difference in reading. It is noticeable. The ghosting is noticeable, and it is distracting. So I'm not entirely sure why they departed from the line matching, double-sided satin ribbons. And this paper does feel a little bit thinner. It feels like it's a sub 30 GSM paper. I do like when the NET quotes the Old Testament in the New Testament. They do make it in bold italics. I do like that. It's very similar to the NASB. It's really attractive. But I can't get over this ghosting. It's just giving me trouble. It's distracting. The lack of line matching is definitely noticeable. And we get to the concordance at the back. We have a nice dual column set up. Each word in the concordance is in bold, all capital letters. Then the cited text is in a verse-by-verse format below that. And the text is in all caps as well. It's not bold, but it's in all caps. So it's easy to find your place. The text size on this concordance is fairly small. At the end of the concordance, we have a reading plan. It's a 365-day reading plan, so it's a read every day. It's not like a read 5 days, off 2 days. This is an everyday reading plan, morning, evening. Then you have a sheet or two of blank paper, and you get to the maps. And these maps are on a glossy cardstock, which not my favorite. They're good maps, but I will not use them if they're on glossy cardstock. It's just, don't like it. And then the back is also a paste down liner. There is no art guilt, and there's shouldn't be. It's a $40 retail Bible, and it's a nice feeling Bible, but there's so many things that throw me off. I don't know. It'd be tough to use this Bible for me. The lack of line matching is my biggest concern, and it's an 8-point font. I do like that it's spaced out and it's very readable. The text is nice. It's crisp. It's a good printing. It really is a good printing. I would rather have this Bible a 1/4 inch thicker, line matched, than it not be line matched. Portability is not superior to readability. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's just not. Or make this with the 36 GSM European Bible paper, where if you didn't line match it, it's not that big of a deal. But the fact that this is it seems to be a thinner paper and a lack of line matching, it's really troublesome for me, because it makes it so distracting that it's hard for me to read with an uninterrupted amount of time without being distracted by it. That, coupled with the regression, yeah, that's probably the right word. We regressed and went back to single-sided satin ribbons in this edition. So if it's a cost thing, just put one good ribbon in it rather than 2 ribbons that are single-sided satin. Please, please don't do this. Don't go backwards. Please don't go backwards. And Thomas Nelson has set a bar really high with how they respond and react to the Bible community, and this was kind of a step backwards. So if the lack of line matching is not a big deal for you, which it might not be, and you find the full notes edition of this NET Bible a little too and you want something with a few less or a lot less references and translator notes, this is going to be a great Bible for you. For me, it's just too distracting, the lack of line matching. I do love the layout. I really do. Even if it were on the European Bible paper, then you wouldn't have as much issue with the lack of line matching, but it is not, and the lack of line matching is noticeable. So thank you guys for watching this review. There'll be a link to this Bible in the video description. If you like this shirt, check out my buds at wrathandgrace.com. I'll leave a link to them in the description as well. Also, take some time and check out my Amazon shop. There you'll find all the gear that I use to make YouTube videos, as well as rebinding tools and journaling supplies, and tons of Bibles from various translations. And last thing, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. And as always, God bless.